Imagine a city, rich and powerful, a beacon of culture and worship. Then, in a single, terrifying night, it vanishes beneath the waves, wiped from the face of the earth. Sound familiar? For centuries, we've been captivated by the legend of Atlantis, Plato's Sunken utopia. But what if I told you the real Atlantis wasn't a myth? What if the story that inspired Plato was about a very real city, a city whose ruins have finally been found? Today, we re-dive in deep into the incredible story of Helike, the lost city of ancient Greece that has risen from its watery grave. For over 2,000 years, the story of Helike was just that, a story. Ancient writers like Pausanias and Strabo spoke of a magnificent city, the capital of the First Achaean League, a powerful confederation of 12 cities in the northern Peloponnese. Helike was famous for its wealth and, most importantly, for its sanctuary dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses. Pilgrims from all over the ancient world flocked to the city to worship at the temple of the Earth Shaker. Helike was the heart of Poseidon's cult. How ironic, then, that it would be Poseidon himself who would seal its doom. The year is 373 BC. It's a cold winter night. For 5 days, strange and terrifying omens have plagued the region. Snakes, weasels, and other creatures that normally hibernate are seen fleeing the coast, scurrying for the highlands. Ancient historians recorded this bizarre animal exodus. They knew something was wrong. Then it happened. A colossal earthquake, an event of unimaginable power, ripped through the earth. The ground shook so violently that the city of Helike, along with its neighboring city of Bura, was torn apart. But the destruction wasn't over. Immediately following the earthquake, a massive tsunami, a tidal wave of epic proportions, surged from the Gulf of Corinth. It crashed over the coastline, completely submerging what was left of Helike. In one night, the city, its people, and its legendary temple of Poseidon were swallowed by the sea. For generations that followed, the tragedy of Helike became a cautionary tale, a legend whispered by sailors. It was said that on calm days, fishermen could peer into the depths and see the ruins of the city. Some even claimed their nets would snag on the submerged bronze statue of Poseidon, still standing defiantly in his sunken temple. The story was so powerful and so well known in the ancient world that many scholars now believe it was the direct inspiration for Plato's tale of Atlantis, which he wrote just a few years after Helike's destruction. Think about it. A powerful, advanced city, favored by Poseidon, destroyed in a single night by an earthquake and a flood. The parallels are uncanny. Plato may have embellished the tale, creating a mythical island continent. But the core of the story, the cataclysmic end of a proud civilization, was ripped straight from the headlines of his day. For centuries, treasure hunters and archaeologists dreamed of finding the lost city. They scoured the seafloor of the Gulf of Corinth, hoping to glimpse the sunken ruins the ancient fishermen described. They found nothing. Year after year, decade after decade, the search turned up empty. The sea held its secrets tight. It seemed Helike was destined to remain a legend, a ghost story whispered on the Greek coast. But they were all looking in the wrong place. The answer wasn't under the sea. It was under the land. This is where our modern story begins, with two determined archaeologists, Dora Katsonopoulou and Stephen Soda. They had a radical new theory. Over the centuries, the river deltas in the area had deposited immense amounts of silt and sediment. They proposed that the ancient gulf where Helike once stood was no longer a gulf at all. It had been filled in. The lost city wasn't in the sea. It was buried under meters of earth, in what was now a coastal plain. It was a bold idea, and many were skeptical. But they persisted. Starting in 1988, they began the Helike Project. It was a painstaking process. They drilled boreholes, analyzed soil samples, and used geophysical remote sensing to peer beneath the surface. For over a decade, they searched meticulously, mapping the buried landscape. They found pottery shards and other signs of ancient life, but the city itself remained elusive. Then, in 2001, they hit the jackpot. They unearthed a buried Roman city. Interesting, but not what they were looking for. But as they dug deeper beneath the Roman layers, they found it. Walls from the classical Greek period. Destruction layers filled with pottery from exactly the right time, the 4th century BC. They had found the level of the cataclysm. The excavations that followed were breathtaking. They uncovered the cobblestone streets of Helike, the foundations of its buildings. And countless artifacts perfectly preserved in the oxygen-free clay. They found coins, loom weights, and pottery, offering a frozen snapshot of daily life just moments before the disaster. One of the most incredible finds was the destruction layer itself, a thick, dark stratum of clay mixed with smashed roof tiles, pottery, and marine microfauna. This was the tsunami layer, the physical evidence of the wave that had buried the city. One of the most poignant discoveries came in 2012. Archaeologists unearthed an entire building, its walls still standing, filled with intact pottery. This wasn't just a random ruin. It was a home, a life, frozen in time. The team also uncovered a mint, proving Helike's status as a major economic power, as it was one of the few cities with the right to produce its own coinage. Each find adds another piece to the puzzle, painting a vivid picture of this once thriving metropolis. The Temple of Poseidon and his famous statue have yet to be found, but the search continues, and with every passing year, the team gets closer. So, is Hell the real Atlantis? While it's not a vast continent on the Atlantic, it is a very real, advanced city that was annihilated by an earthquake and a flood in a single night, and its story likely formed the historical basis for Plato's famous legend. The discovery of Helike is more than just an archaeological marvel. It's a reminder that sometimes the most incredible legends have their roots in truth. It shows us how fragile our civilizations can be in the face of nature's power. And it proves that even cities lost for millennia can, against all odds, rise again. The story of Helike isn't just about destruction. It is about rediscovery and the enduring power of human curiosity to uncover the secrets of the past. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to Greece's lost city. What do you think? Could the legends of other lost cities also be based on real events? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. Thanks for watching!